and we are wrestling with TNA Genesis. It took place um last Sunday. It was in a one Garland, Texas, at the Curtis Colwell Center. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I did not know that there was a TNA Pete preview on last Sunday. Um, I don't follow TNA that closely to, kind of care about their pay previews, but there was so much on the line about what happened at the show. There was so much buzz, there was so much chatter about it. Just seeing that picture of the full house, like I don't think AEW wrestlers knew that the crowd could be fitted on, the hard camera side. Um,
I mean, it helped that Open was there.
who was that?
Busted Open Radio.
True. So, I mean, just from, the chatter, I had to go back and I had to watch the show. And honestly, I was pretty pleasantly surprised. This was a solid paid preview for them. But what say you, Kaliko?
I mean, yeah, considering that this was the first pay-per-view where post TNA NXT merger. So it was just abound to see, like, it wasn't even a matter of what was going to happen with NXT. It was a matter of who was going to show up in NXT from NXT.
Right.
Which to me, mad interesting, to say the least.
Well, let's get into it. Singles match for the TNA X Division Championship. Moose with Lisa Edwards and JDC defeated Ace Austin in 14 minutes and 45 seconds. Pretty good opener. If I had one complaint about it, it was maybe 4 minutes and 45 seconds too long. You didn't necessarily see Ace Austin as a threat to Moose, but I kind of felt like they had a solid match. Like I said, at the end I was just kind of like, okay, Moose, finish him off. But that was just me. What say you?
I mean, true. I mean, but keep in mind, Moose at one point was the champion, so the man,
Right.
which is weird because they were like, oh yeah, you lost this belt, but take this X Division championship, which is it's weird how they put like heavyweights in a cruiserweight division championship.
Yeah.
Like Moose is like a solid 280 out here running around with fucking Ace Austin. Like you like one of these things is not like the other.
I mean, the X Division is about isn't about weight limits. It's about no limits.
Oh gosh, don't you dare. Oh Lord.
Hey, I mean, they've
I
already
mean,
crossed the line back.
yeah. I mean, if they bring that back, it's all good. But then again, I can't say nothing because Samoa Joe held that belt. So if this big ass held that belt, and not big as in fat, but just like stocky, I can't say shit about Moose.
I mean, Abyss held that title at one point.
Oh God, yes, he did. All 300 pounds of Joseph Parks.
Big meaty man.
But but yeah, I mean, it kind of went the way you thought it was gonna go. I mean, Moose retaining.
Right.
Because I think they have something good with the kingdom. It's just a matter of, I mean, he had the belt, he lost the belt. Now this is like their way to keep them relevant in a
Right.
way.
I would say so. Yeah. The system or the factory or I think it's the system.
Oh, the system. There you go. The system. The system. I know he has a throne that they keep fucking highlighting, which I like. I must admit, nice looking chair. Need one for my office.
How many stars you give this one?
Two, because you knew when they. The only reason I give it a two is because of the fact that when you saw them face to face across the ring, you like ain't no way in hell.
We know how this is ending.
I mean, yeah,
I didn't. It didn't necessarily deter me from it. So I would say I give it a three. Solid opener. Alright. That brings us to the second match, which was Eric Young and Steve Macklin um taking the W on Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. This was pretty chaotic and all over the place. Um, just for the simple fact that it literally was kind of impromptu. It was scheduled, but they just decided to because Eddie Edwards and Myers interfered in the match prior with Moose. Young and Macklin came to help, and then the match just kind of impromptu started right after Moose and Austin ended. It was a little weird, but it did kind of make sense how they did it. So,
did it. Yeah, it was kind of like a continuation.
yeah.
And speaking of continuation, how dare you
Hmm?
not guess Meltzer's rating, sir? How dare you not guess Meltzer's rating?
You're telling me that Dave Meltzer actually watched this pay per view?
I mean, Dave Meltzer, yeah, he actually did. So
Okay,
it's
well,
time for another episode. The first TNA version of Guess That Rating.
then I apologize to Uncle Dave. He's watching TNA. Bless his heart. Um, okay, Ace Austin and Moose. 3 1/4?
Higher,
3.5.
higher,
4?
4.25.
4 1/4. Okay. Think that's a good gauge to kind of figure out how Dave is looking at these matches. Okay.
I know, cause this isn't Tokyo Dome, this
Right.
isn't Kenny Omega, and this isn't Will Ospreay or anything AEW. So it's gonna be really rough
Right.
for you.
I kind of have to tune in. I have to figure out how Dave views TNA. But yeah, back to Young and Macklin. Okay, match. I wouldn't necessarily say I liked the start of the match, just how it got started, but other than that, I was okay with it. Didn't last too long. So, what say you?
The same. I mean, although it's unique to see like one match in and the group jumps them and then the tag comes out and it starts the other match, but here we are.
It's definitely something you don't see on WWE TV.
I feel like it would. I feel like that was some shit they did in the mid-teens.
Maybe in the mid-teens, but not nowadays.
Yeah. They go out and like four people fight each other and they're like, you want to fight? You can have this match right now in the middle of like during the commercial break.
It's
Match
a
was made
tag
during the
team
commercial
match,
break.
player.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Hmm. Um, I give this 2.5. It didn't necessarily. It was maybe a 2-star match, but considering that it didn't go too long and it just kind of hit the right sweet spot, that gives it the extra half a star. What's
Man, I gave it a 2 because I was trying to figure out what the hell they were fighting about.
All right, Uncle Dave gave this 3.5.
Lower.
3.
Higher.
3.25.
3.25.
I was gonna
You
start
just
with 3.25, but whatever.
you just tiptoed around it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Right, we got Spitfire, Jody Dredd, and Danny Luna defeating Ass by Elegance and Header by Elegance with the personal concierge. In 9 minutes and 35 seconds, they retained the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. Good match. I think the highlight of the match was Dana Brooke and Heather Reckless coming out in what are they called? Dallas cheerleader outfits, even though they were the villains in the match. Um, I mean that didn't make much sense, but I mean I think it did what it was supposed to, and that was get Danny and Jody over. So
That's always the point. Spitfire.
right. But what say
Get
you?
spit. To me, it just didn't seem like Spitfire was gonna lose. Cause usually when someone's coming out and they got like the what's the word I'm looking for?
The gimmick on.
When the villains are coming out in the gimmick, it's like it ain't gonna look good. So the best thing about it was when the bell rang after the match.
How many stars you give this one?
2.
I agree with that too. Dave gave it 2.
2. There you go.
All right.
Look,
We're
look,
vibing with Dave's
look
number.
look at us. We're all in a Honda on one accord. Look at that. All in a Honda Accord. Anyways,
We got Tessa Blanchard defeating Jordan and Grace in 20 minutes and 15 seconds. Um, Low-key, I can barely identify Jordan Grace. Like a whole completely different person. Um, Solid match. Did what it was supposed to do. Um, Tessa looked good. Jordan looked good. Obviously, some big moments, some crashing, some high spots. Didn't necessarily like that they were chanting "she's a racist" to Tessa. Like, I mean, kind of give the girl a break. She's been um, what's the word? Not excursioned, exiled for the last 4 years. Um, but yeah, I thought it was a good match. What say you?
I mean, yeah, solid match. It brought the. I mean, even with them not liking Tessa, it kind of gave them a reason to cheer for,
Do
to
they
cheer
need a
for Jordan.
reason do they need a reason to cheer for Jordan Ann? I mean, she's been there since like day one.
Yeah, but to me, I think personally, I don't know. Me personally, I've never had a bad experience with Tessa. So to me, I don't see the hate. It just, and this is coming from a black man. So I feel like I'm kind of going against everybody here. But it feels like the way I'm defending Tessa is like the way I'm defending Emma. That's how I feel. But to me, yes, still a solid match. It was a good welcome back match. The right person won as the other person was leaving,
Right.
and it gives her it gives the fans. It's kind of like when Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle, and people couldn't stand his ass.
Right.
It's kind of the same feeling.
It gives them a reason to hate her that isn't the reason that they actually hate her.
Or
If that
it
makes
gives them a reason to hate her in compounding with the reason that they
sense.
hate her. Either way, they're gonna hate her. It's just a matter
Right.
of why you hate her. It could be one, it could be the other, it could be both.
Pick a
But
card, any card.
you pick. It's your pick.
I mean, love or hate or whatever. I don't think anybody's ever said that Tessa wasn't a good hand in the ring.
I mean, it's weird the hate because this girl was probably the only girl to hold the TNA championship. So I'm like,
I mean, she's one of the only girls to win a men's championship.
a
Major
main world championship, like
and
the champion.
yeah, WWE, TNA, AEW, New Japan, all of them. She was the only one. So I mean, that's not nothing,
Not nothing at all.
right? So I mean, maybe, and playing the devil's advocate here, maybe she had a bad attitude. Maybe she was a bit of a bully back in the day. You know, you get you're the first ever woman to hold a men's world title. You know, you kind of get a swollen head about things. It happens. It's pro wrestling. I mean, being an asshole and being a racist are two very different things, no?
You can't have one without the other.
I mean, true, but
Technically,
I mean,
yeah.
it's they're not exclusive to each other. But
Mm, mm.
maybe maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But maybe she's actually a different person than she was back then. She's changed, and maybe she deserves a second chance. If she has, you know, if she is guilty of what they said. You know what I mean?
That is true. I mean, but it's just But second chance. I mean, honestly, I expect her to embrace whatever the hell this is, whatever hate that they give her. She's just gonna take it and run with it. So
I think that I find it hard to justify embracing being called a racist by the crowd. No?
I think she's just gonna embrace the hate that it is. I don't think she's gonna embrace what it is. She's just gonna embrace it as
They're responding.
it's hate. Exactly.
How many stars do you
So
give this?
solid 4. Pretty good.
I'll give it a 4 as well. Good match. Um. Ooh. Okay, so it was definitely a solid match. It was a good match, but there was also women in it. 3.5.
Higher.
4.
Higher.
4.5.
4.5.
Hmm. Okay. Uncle Dave likes uh, Jordan Grace, or I don't know.
Horseman lover?
Hmm,
Four horseman lover, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, that would be my guess.
Next match, Mike Santana defeated Josh Alexander in an I Quit match in 23 minutes and 15 seconds. Um, I like the fact that this match didn't go balls to the wall right off the bat. They did kind of let things breed before, they got, the toys involved, per se.
Hmm.
Um, it they started off, traditional, slow paced match, and then they brought out toys, they got violent. It wasn't, AEW level violence, but it was enough violence that, you believed that the other person was actually in danger. Um, which,
You mean it wasn't like Swerve and the hell, Swerve and Hangman in LA violent?
right. But, it didn't need to be that. The things that they did was, violent, but, it was also, you could say, ooh, that looked bad, but they were actually safe in the ring. You knew that they
Reasonable, reasonable violence is what we call
reasonable violence, yes.
it. Like that hurts, but it wasn't too over the top.
Right. Nobody's getting hepatitis in this match.
Yeah, no one's gonna get hepatitis. There
Yeah,
we go.
good times. Right guy won in the right fashion. Um, Josh Alexander, it wasn't like a wrestling move. He put him in danger, enough danger for him to want to, you know, quit. Which, psychology wise, works for me. Um, Solid all around. What say you?
Yeah, said the same thing. It 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 was solid. Not gonna. I mean, to follow what happened with Tessa and then with this, which was, it's good. I mean, they had back to back bangers with it. So to me, the right guy, yeah, the right guy won. I mean, Josh Alexander, it's like it fits in the fact of it's like where is he trying to go from here? Because it's almost like he tried to be good, he got fucked by Moose. Then he's just going bad, and now he's Santana's getting his justice, and it's just he's trying to, figure it out.
Right. And whether he actually quit or not, legitimately, has yet to be seen. It could just be a storyline, or we might be seeing him in the Rumble sooner rather than later.
Who knows? Might see him in the NXT Casino Royale. Da 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 da.
You think that Josh would go to AEW?
I mean, I said NXT, but
Oh, you said Casino Battle Royal.
oh, you said AEW.
But
Oh, no,
but
no, 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 no.
the Battle Royals, the casino ones, the Casino Variety Rumbles are AEW exclusives.
I don't see him going to the Casino Royal, whatever.
So we might see a North reunion in the bakery.
Yep, he's going to the bakery.
He knows,
Just another day at the bakery. Yeah.
because he knows the Muffin Man. That being Shawn Michaels.
Who doesn't know who does not know the Muffin Man?
Um, 3.5.
I agree. 3.5. Reasonable violence.
Definitely. Uncle Dave, 4.25.
Uncle Dave, 4.25. You're gonna get to go higher than that, sir.
4.5.
4.5.
All right. Interesting. All right. That brings us to the World Tag Team Championship match. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, defeated the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, in 14 minutes. Um, I mean, I don't feel like people are expecting, the Hardy Boys of the early 2000s. I do feel like the Rascals did kind of low key help them in this match, but I mean, it helps the Rascals to be in the ring with names like Matt and Jeff Hardy. So one hand washes the other in that regard. Um, there was some drama. Uh, Axiom and um, Brendan Fraser.
Praxium.
Axiom and Brendan Fraser came around and they watched the
Mm-hmm.
match. And yeah, craziness pursued, but it was craziness that made sense as well. What say you?
It's craziness and it makes sense because it was the blending of one of the couple of blendings of NXT and TNA that we saw throughout the night. And then of course we got the announcement of Praxium versus the Rascals for the NXT Tag Team Championships, which leads me to believe that they're gonna get sacrificed because they just lost to two very past their prime Hardy Boys.
They're hardy men. Maybe hardy
Um,
grandpas. Hardy grandpas?
so you say what?
They're hardy grandpas?
The Hardy Grandpas. Oh, it'd be like the Hardy Papas.
The hardy papas. Okay, I can see it. Definitely not hardy boys anymore, for sure.
Yeah, they are not boy Hardy ARARP up in this bitch.
How many stars do you give this one?
I even with the Hardys, look at the way that they look. Did you really think that they were ever going to lose the titles?
No.
There you go.
And what did you
I
say
need
about
two and
old
a half
timers
to
not
three, maybe.
monopolizing earlier?
Well, that's that. I mean, it's the tag titles. I could see if it was like the TNA Championship.
Fair enough.
If Jeff Hardy was winning the TNA Championship, we would have problems.
I mean, it could still happen. He's still
It
signed.
very well can, unfortunately.
How many stars you give this one?
Uh, oh gosh, 2.5. Because as much as the match was kind of interesting, you knew the Hardys wasn't gonna.
Um, the Axiom thing was nice, and the Brendan Fraser thing was nice. It kind of made things, a bit more unpredictable. So I'll give it a 3. Um, then we have um a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match for the TNA Knockouts
Meltzer's
World.
ratings,
Oh,
sir. You keep
my bad, my bad, my bad.
guess that rating, my man.
I feel like you and Meltzer may be vibing on this one, 2.5.
He actually went higher than me.
3.25.
3.25.
Right.
Look at you. Kind of. I mean, you started off a little slow. You slowly gaining some traction.
I told you that the first one was just kind of gauging, kind of figuring things out. First time we did this with TNA, so you don't. It's not WWE and it's not AEW, so you kind of have to figure out
Yeah, yeah.
that
You
happening
gotta
here.
fill it out. Fill out
Right.
the matches. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I get it.
Right. Clockwork Orange House of Fun match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Masha Slamovich defeated Rosemary in 14 minutes and 5 seconds. I thought this was a good match. It had some really good moments. The return of the 2x4 with the spikes and the nails in it. Janice. Yes, her name was Janice.
Janice, yeah, Janice
Thumbtacks.
Abyss.
Mist. It definitely played into the name of House of Fun match. I kind of feel like things just kind of ended abruptly. Like maybe there was maybe some more things that were supposed to happen, maybe time constraints, whatever. And it just kind of, okay, well, this is the finish. That's it. Bye. Um, and then obviously Cora Jade came in, and that was nice. The bakery representing. What's it?
Of course.
What say you, Kaliko?
Reasonable. Can we say reasonable violence?
I feel like there was a little bit of unreasonableness with the violence.
So on the verge of reasonableness to unreasonableness, it was teetering unreasonableness.
A bit, yes. From my perspective,
Okay.
maybe you felt differently.
I mean, Rosemary is that's her wheelhouse.
Right.
I mean, this woman wrestled pregnant. There's nothing above her, above or below her means. Um, yeah, I mean,
Well,
you got it, but
considering that, maybe it was reasonable for her standards. Maybe we could say that.
yeah. But then you can also, I mean, all of that, but I kind of knew. I mean, Masha just got the title.
Right.
So to me, I'm like, she ain't losing this match.
I mean, she won it in October. So I kind of
Yeah,
feel like they want her to have a little bit longer of a run than, what, 3 months?
October. Yes. So, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
So it kind of took that out of it for me. I, with that being said, the goriness, all of that just for Cora, one of the we call her a concha, one of the conchas to come out from the bakery to challenge her afterwards, which is going to be interesting to see if Roxanne's going to help her out on that. But the other concha, and so it'll be interesting. But all in all, two, a two.
I give the match a 2 and 7 fives. 7/5.
Wow. Seven.
But with Cora Jane coming in representing the bakery, it's a solid 4.
Yeah.
Oh, now for Uncle Dave, 3.5,
Lower.
3.25.
3.25?
Okay.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, 3.25.
Oh, lower. Jesus Christ.
2.5.
Lower.
Damn, what is it?
2.25.
Wow. So Masha and Rosemary had um, the least favorable match from Uncle Dave on this card.
I mean, other than Ash by Elegance, they got a solid 2.
That's true. So they'll just Masha and Rosemary was a quarter better
A
as the
quarter better.
Nina Brooke.
Hey, man, that quarter makes a difference.
A day late and a quarter short. That brings us to the main event, the last match, the thing everybody wanted to see. Joe Henry defeating Nick Nemeth to become the new TNA World Champion in 19 minutes and 10 seconds. Pretty good match. I mean, it was the main event, and sometimes the main event doesn't seem like it should be the last match, but this definitely felt like it should have gone on last. The crowd was into it. Um, I don't know what JBL is doing, but he's getting pops, and people seem to be responding
People
to it.
love him clotheslining, motherfucker. That's what.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever's going on with all of this, it seems to be working, and I kind of feel like you sort of did this at Bound for Glory 3 months ago.
Bingo. That's
Yeah, I feel like
if
they kind of missed the ball on that in that regard, but who says, "Oh, I want my backlash moment," the pay preview after WrestleMania. No, you want the Bound for Glory moment, and they watched that, which is I think believe we talked about it when it happened, a very TNA thing to do. I suppose that they wanted to kind of say, because this was a new era for them, that they're
there
issuing
you
in
go.
the new era with a new champion, and that is Joe Henry. So in that,
Genesis with the Genesis.
yeah. So in that regard, I saw where they were kind of going with it, but I still, he could have still have been champion when they came into that new era. It was only 3 months. It wasn't like it was that far off. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Everything you just said, I said the same thing. I'm like, he only won the title because it's Genesis, and they're trying to say it's a new era. Especially, it would only be fitting of a TNA to be like, we're going to start the genesis of our NXT deal with a Genesis. Yay. Like, what? So, yeah, that it is very TNA-ish to do. Maybe NXT will knock out some of the old habits from their end. Hopefully, with all due respect.
How many stars you
But,
give
I
Penta?
mean, the right person won at least. The crowd was happy, so I guess TNA could say, hey, look, it doesn't matter because they liked it either way. You know what I'm saying? So, so it could have been, you know what I'm saying? It's like, Why are we bad? The crowd loved it either way. But this match was a. If this was done in Bound for Glory, this easily could have been a 3, a 5, considering it was at Genesis and we kind of felt like, I don't know, to me it felt like this was like a now or never moment for him.
Right.
And that that is where it's a the right guy won, but you kind of knew he had to win. So that's where the 3 comes in for me.
I mean, again, this is TNA. He didn't have to win.
Well, he needed to win.
Yeah.
Like it was a must win. There you go. I can not a have to win, but a must win.
And like for one of the first times ever, TNA did what the right thing.
Yeah, they understood the assignment.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels must have been in the back. Um.
Booker T was in the back. That was like, I thought this was the bakery, man.
I saw Cora. It must have been the bakery. Um. 3.5. It was the main event. It felt like the main event. It had some gaga. The right person won. Big pop. Maybe the wrong event, but it still did what it needed to do. Um, like you said, it could have been a 4 or even maybe a 5 star if it was at Bound for Glory, but I digress. Um, it was the right move. It was the right way to end the night, I would say, for sure.
There you go. It was the right way to end the night. I agree with that.
Right. Uncle Dave gave it a 3/7 fifths.
God damn, you was on the money right there.
Damn, I got it.
Yeah, that was the number 375.
Sweet. I told you. Once I was on that first match, I was tuned in.
Look at him locked in.
All right. Honestly, I really enjoyed this show. There was nothing that was overly dramatic. There was nothing that offended me. TNA's presence was seen and felt, but it was only, cameos. They didn't necessarily rely on TNA, a no, NXT. They did not rely on NXT to get them to where they were or where they were at. You didn't buy a ticket thinking you were going to see Axiom and Cora Jade. That was on, them, on TNA's shoulder. And I mean, they delivered. I mean, you saw that crowd. That was a bigger crowd than AEW's been pulling in, the last maybe 6 months. And TNA pulled that crowd. It's the biggest crowd TNA's done in I don't know how long.
Jesus, God knows how long.
But, that's the thing about TNA. They have these events and they get people talking and they get a little bit of buzz around their name. And then between 3 to 6 months, they lose that momentum and it just kind of drops off. I don't know if that's going to happen this time around. We've had this conversation maybe like, what, 15 times since the show started about TNA, that this could be the comeback. This could be when TNA, finally, stops being the little buddy of pro wrestling. But I think it's definitely the most solid they've looked out of all of the time that they've mounted a comeback. So I'll continue being cautiously optimistic about them, but we'll see in maybe 3 to 6 months if they could hold on to this momentum. What say you?
I mean, that's all you can be is cautiously optimistic because it's one of those things where it's like we were like that when Josh Alexander won the title. We were like that when who else won that title? That was Austin Aries, goddamn AJ Styles. I mean, I could name people where we thought it was going to be a shift, and it never came.
Right.
So now it's like we're just gonna have to wait and see with you. And
yeah.
and that's okay. But the only reason I think it's gonna work is that I don't think they ever had anyone as wildly as popular as Joe Hendry won the title.
I would agree with that.
So that is a different calculation that they're working with.
So
now it's just on to them to cap. Yeah, that's a huge variable because you can. I mean, Josh Alexander won the title, but he wasn't like, oh my God.
He didn't have a hit song behind him.
He didn't have a viral following behind him, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Well, Joe Hendry already has said they already said his first defense is going to be Matt Cardona. So, and I think they already had the match, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see how it goes with Joe.
This show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
It was actually enjoyable, even though we gave all those horrible ratings. Because it was done because they had a good couple of solid matches with a couple of surprises. The bad matches were kind of mixed with surprises, so it kind of offsets. And I think they're only going to get better because now they're working with NXT talent, i.e. working with hopefully Sean in the back telling them, hey kid, you need to do it this way. So they have nowhere to go but up from there.
So, thumbs up?
Thumbs up. Pretty enjoyable.
I give it a thumbs
Gotta
up
give it
as
to them.
well.
I will give TNA their due.
Me as well. See, we could rate a show that's non-WWE positively. Look at us being pro.
It's just that AEW you hate.
Don't pretend like you're a lover of AEW idol, Kaliko.
We're not trying. No.
I mean, we all swerve when we drive, but do we squeeze with Orange Cassidy?
I was hoping Minoru Suzuki would have killed them 4 years ago, but that's a...
And my point exactly.
Real talk.
There's so much shit you have to shovel before you get to the diamonds.
Oh, yes.
That'll conclude our coverage of TNA Genesis.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.